Tearing the veil, hypotheses become facts. In this video, Goddard has a singular purpose: the removal of the veil of the senses. This journey to another world follows 3 essential steps in the process of creation. Therefore, it's crucial for you to watch this video until the end. Men believe in the reality of the external world because they don't know how to focus and condense their powers to access the internal world. Before we continue, please leave your like here to help this video reach as many people as possible. Subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to be informed of new videos. Help strengthen our channel to continue bringing light to the lives of others, just as it has in yours. Write in the comments what you are grateful for. To remove the veil of the senses, we don't need to exert great efforts. The objective world disappears by diverting our attention from our physical senses. We only have to focus on the desired state to first see it in our minds and then give it reality so that it becomes an objective. We must concentrate our attention on the invisible state until it has the feeling of reality. Through attention, when our desire seems to possess the distinctiveness and feeling of reality, we give it the right to become a concrete fact. If it was challenging to control the direction of your attention while in a state akin to sleep, staring at an object can be helpful. Look not at its surface but within, like a wall, a carpet, or any object with depth. Arrange it to reflect as little as possible. Imagine that in this depth, you are seeing and hearing what you want until your attention is exclusively occupied by the imagined state. At the end of your meditation, when you awaken from your controlled daydream, you feel as if you've returned from a great distance. The visible world you had excluded returns to consciousness, and by its presence and form, you've deceived yourself into believing the object of your contemplation was real. However, if you consciously know that the invisible world is the only reality, you'll remain faithful to your vision and, through this sustained mental attitude, confirm your gift of reality, proving that you have the power to give reality to your desires, making them visible concrete facts. Define your ideal. Focus your attention on the idea of identifying with your ideal. Assume the sensation of being it, the feeling that would be yours if you were already the embodiment of your ideal. Then live and act upon it with conviction. This assumption, though denied by the physical senses, will persist and become a real fact. You will know when you have successfully fixed the desired state and consciousness simply by mentally looking at the people you know. In dialogues with you, one is less inhibited and more sincere than in conversations with others. Therefore, the opportunity for self-analysis arises when you are caught in mental conversations with others. In your meditation, allow others to see you as they would see you if this new concept of self were a concrete fact. You always appear to others as an embodiment of the ideal you inspire. Therefore, in meditation, when you contemplate others, you should be seen as slowly becoming what you would be seen as physically were your concept of self an objective fact. In meditation, imagine that they see you expressing what you desire to be. If you assume that you are what you want to be, your desire is fulfilled, and in realization, every desire is neutralized. You cannot continue desiring what you have already realized. Your desire is not something you work to fulfill, it is recognizing something you already possess. It is assuming the feeling of being what you desire to be. Write in the comments, "I assume the feeling of my desire realized." Therefore, what you can imagine can never be so far as it is near, for proximity implies separation. If you can believe, all things are possible to one who believes. Being is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. If you assume that you are what you want to be, then you will see others as they relate to your assumption. If, however, it is the good of others that you desire, then in meditation, you must represent them to yourself as already being what you wish them to be. It is through desire that you rise above your current sphere, and the road from desire to fulfillment is shortened as you experience in imagination what you would experience in the flesh if you were already the embodiment of the ideal you wish to be. It is asserted that man has, at every moment of time, the choice before him of which of the various futures he will encounter. But the question arises, how is this possible when man's waking experiences in the three-dimensional world are predetermined? As your observation of an event before it occurs implies this ability to change the future, it will be seen if we compare the experience of life on Earth to this printed page. Man's experiences events on Earth individually and successively, in the same way you are experiencing them now. Consider the words on this page. Imagine that each word represents a single impression. To understand the context and my meaning, focus your vision on the first word in the top left corner, then move your focus across the page from left to right, dwelling on each word alone and successively. When your eyes reach the last word on this page, you have extracted my meaning. Suppose, however, as you look at the page, the printed words contained therein, you decided to rearrange them. When you rearrange them, they could tell an entirely different story. In fact, you could tell many different stories. A dream is nothing more than 4 uncontrolled dimensions of thought, an arrangement of past and future sensory impressions. Man rarely dreams of events in the order he experiences them when awake. He usually dreams of 2 or more events separated in time fused into a single sensory impression, or in his dream, he so completely rearranges his waking sensory impressions that he does not recognize light when they encounter it in his waking state. For example, I dreamed that I delivered a package to the restaurant in my building. The hostess said to me, "You can't leave that here." Then the elevator operator gave me some letters, and as I thanked him for them, he, in turn, thanked me. At this point, the night elevator operator nodded and signed a greeting to me. The next day, as I left my apartment, I picked up some letters that had been placed at my door. On my way down, I gave the elevator operator a tip and thanked him for taking care of my mail. After that, he thanked me for the tip. On my way back home that day, I heard a doorman say to a delivery man, "You can't leave that there." As I was about to head up to my apartment, I was drawn by a familiar face in a restaurant, and as I looked, the hostess greeted me with a late-night smile. I overheard my dinner guests for the elevator, and as I said goodbye to them, the night operator signed goodnight to me, simply reenacting some of the sensory impressions I was bound to encounter, and by merging 2 or more of them into unique sensory impressions, construct a dream that would have some of my waking experiences. When we learn to control the movements of our attention in the world of 4 dimensions, we will be able to constantly create circumstances in the 3-dimensional world. We learn this control through waking dream, where our attention can be effortlessly maintained. Because less effort is indispensable to change the future, we can consciously awaken, dream, and construct an event we desire to experience in the 3-dimensional world. The sensory impressions we use to construct our waking dream are present realities displaced in time in the 4-dimensional world. All we do in constructing the waking dream is select from the vast range of sensory impressions those that, when properly arranged, imply that we have perceived our desire with the clearly defined dream. We relax in a chair to induce a state of consciousness similar to sleep, a state that, although bordering on sleep, leaves us in control of the movements of our attention. When we have achieved this state, we experience in imagination what we would experience in reality. This waking dream becomes a goal by applying this technique to change the future. It is important always to remember that the only thing occupying the mind during the waking dream is the predetermined action that implies the fulfillment of our desire. As the waking dream becomes a physical fact, it is not our concern. Our acceptance of the waking dream as a physical reality was the means to its realization. Let me again establish the foundations for changing the future, which is nothing more than a controlled waking dream. 1. Define your goal, knowing definitively what you want. 2. Construct an event that you believe you will encounter following the fulfillment of your desire, something with a predominant self-action, an event that implies the realization of your desire. 3. Immobilize the physical body, induce a state closely resembling sleep, then mentally situate yourself in the proposed action, imagining all the while that you are actually performing the action here and now, so that you experience in imagination what you would experience in the flesh when you realize your goal. My experience convinces me that this is the way to achieve my goal. However, my many failures convince me that I have not completely mastered the movements of my attention. Nevertheless, as the old professor says, there is one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind and reaching forward to those things that are ahead, I press toward the goal. Well, I hope this content has been valuable to you, that you have benefited from it. My goal with this channel is to help you thrive financially, and it all starts in the mind, of course. But I always emphasize that action is also necessary. If you liked it, Please leave a like and subscribe to help strengthen our channel and continue sending light into the lives of many people, just like yours. A strong embrace, and until the next video.